Well, we're discussing all things health, but not only about just peculiarities of looking after patients, but this time forcibly evicting people who are the best professionals from doing their work.
Yeah. So the health minister is in the Central Region, and our colleague Seth Kwame Boateng is standing by to speak to Kweku Agyeman-Manu. Amongst the many things they will talk about, of course, will be the issue, the Tamale issue, the Tamale Hospital issue, the forceful eviction of that CEO, and matters that have come up because of that. So Seth Kwame Boateng, if you can hear me, good morning to you. I know that you're also going to talk about this new project being commissioned and also abandoned projects. So take it away, Seth.
Okay, thanks for your time, Amavi. So I'm here with the health minister. He got to the Central Region yesterday. He's here to commission some polyclinics. Yesterday, he commissioned 3 of these facilities. I will speak to him about those projects and the abandoned ones that he promised that government will work on. But let's start from Tamale, which is an issue we are all talking about. So thanks for your time, Honorable Health Minister, and welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yesterday, you told me you were not happy about what was happening in Tamale. You were hopeful that people would be arrested and dealt with. Yes, they were arrested, but we are told they have been released. How do you feel about this?
I haven't got this information yet. But yesterday in the morning, I spoke to the Interior Minister, and I did speak to the Regional Minister. In fact, I was engaging him in course of the morning for a very long time. I got assurances. And so in the evening, when we came back from the field, and I read that 6 people had been arrested, I was quite a bit comfortable. It's like the Interior Minister had actually lived to expectation and has done what he assured me he was going to do. If this has happened, their release, I may want to engage and find out the circumstances within which that has happened. So probably after this engagement, I will try and seek audience with the Interior Minister and the Regional Minister to get a feedback as to how come they have been released.
As a result of this, the staff are still not happy, so they are still unwilling to go to work. Most of them are watching you now, and what did you tell them?
I think I'll have to make a very passionate appeal to the staff. I got assurance from the Interior Minister yesterday that human beings, people, workers, professionals in there, and property will be protected. I heard from the background he was engaging that they should call the IGP for him. So I believe that the necessary arrangements had been put in place to protect all of you health professionals working in Tamale Teaching Hospital. So there shouldn't be any fear, or you people shouldn't panic. The police may be up to it and try to protect you. I will appeal to you that you get back to work to make sure that people who are ill do not suffer unnecessarily. I spoke to the president of the Ghana Medical Association yesterday as well, and I believe that Dr. Ankobia will have also spoken to some of his members in Tamale to try to see how we can bring peace into the area.
So I'm wondering, why is it appearing that health staff there are under attack? Because I understand that 6 months ago, the regional health director was also chased out. Dr. Kwashi was chased out, and he's now in Accra. Do you know about that?
Yes, I'm very much aware of this. The Ghana Health Service Council and the Director General dealt with that matter. Apparently, Dr. Kwashi left the place before I got to know about the situation. I sought for a report from the Director General that was sent to me. Even yesterday, I was inquiring from the Director General. He says to me that Dr. Kwashi is being reposted to the head office, Ghana Health Service, to work there. Apparently, Dr. Kwashi is not even ready to get back to the place. But there's a history to these chasing out and things like that. Even Dr. Nsiesar himself, when he was there, there was this same thing, and he caused the arrest of about 3 people who were at that time even jailed for about 3 months each before he left there for Kumasi. So this isn't just something that is just happening.
Why is it continuing?
It has been there.
Why is it continuing?
It can beat anybody's imagination. It looks like, and I'm not very pretty sure, it looks like there are some people in Tamale that should not be touched. There are some groups in Tamale that want to enforce their minds, what they think that they are going to do. So it is up to us to see how this situation can be handled, not only by the health minister, but by people in security and things like that, and the law agencies to try to enforce what our regulations and laws are like. When I go around visiting health workers, I've been touring some of the regions. One of the objectives of these tours said that I will engage with a very large number of staff that we are working with, scattered across the length and breadth of this country. Keep on telling some of them that if there are problems against your heads, especially with financial malfeasance, things bordering on corruption and spending money unnecessarily, there are channels of complaints. And ideally, when you allege, and there haven't been any investigations to confirm your allegations, to be difficult for any minister to start plugging people away from where they have been working. Honestly, if you're one of those people and that thing is done to you, you wouldn't be happy. And our laws will not even allow that somebody gives an allegation and then you act on it. So these financial issues should be left with the Auditor General's office. And when they come out with, proper reporting as to some problems had been uncovered, then that is where we can deal with the matter and the individuals involved. So people should have patience, right? I'm not holding brief for any head of institution or a superintendent or a chief executive, but we might have proper and better particulars, proper evidence that can be used to actually sanction or punish people.
So perhaps the approach these guys used was bad, chasing the man out, but they had concerns. Okay. I don't know if their concerns are something you'd want to investigate. The malfeasance that they spoke about, the corruption that they spoke, is this something that, in spite of what they've done, you're going to conduct investigations into so we know what actually happened?
Because of this issue, I scheduled myself to commission 10 of these polyclinics in Central Region alone here. But I want to cut my tour short, so after today, I have to get back to Accra, and I'm making preparations to leave Accra late afternoon tomorrow for Tamale.
You're going to Tamale tomorrow?
I'm going to Tamale tomorrow late afternoon. I'll inform the regional minister, and I'll meet groupings, especially the management of the hospital, on Saturday morning. So I'll be there. And when these issues happen, we normally will set up a committee to do some investigations, to come out with some semblance of what is happening before you begin to look at what we can do. So that will definitely happen. Investigations will be done into the allegations that are coming out. And then while the security people will deal with what laws have been broken, we also in the Ministry for Health will begin to investigate to find out what was the actual problem or what the CEO has been doing, which has attracted the unnecessary attacks on him and resulting in the whole atmosphere that has been created in the hospital as we speak.
Do you think this is an enough assurance for them to resume work and attend to patients today?
As with assurance, I think yes. The Interior Minister has given assurance, the Regional Minister has given assurance, and I believe before I even get there, peace will have been restored. So I'll continue my appeal that management of the hospital should get their acts together and get their staff working, because the critical people are the patients who are in the hospital.
And I remember when you toured the northern region, one of the issues that came up was that health staff refused postings to that part of the country, and you even promised that you look into it. Do you think with this happening, they will still be willing to accept postings there? And how can we change the narrative?
That is a challenge, actually. Apparently, it is doctors, specifically doctors, who continuously refuse postings into Northern region, particularly. But then with this, you're only scaring other people away from coming to the place. And seriously, when there is no peace and we post a doctor there and he tells me because of this situation he's not going to go there, you can't force him to go. Dr. Kwashi left, despite the fact the regional minister has engaged, and it's like things are normal, and he has got assurances that Dr. Kwashi can come back. He's not willing to go back there at all. So now we have a predicament. 10 regional directors, right? If you haven't done interviews and promoted somebody to go and fill that position, you have lost a regional director completely because of this type of issues that are found in Tamale. So I appeal to young men in Tamale. Why do we want to take laws into our hands when there are due processes for complaints, right? If you have got evidence of somebody stealing, it is theft as a citizen, and a concerned one, of course. You can report the matter to the police for further investigation. It's a criminal issue. Or you can eavesdrop. Send a small petition to the minister's office. We will act on that. You can get to the Auditor General's office and just hint them. Tamale, we have officers there. That, please, this is happening in the hospital. Can you go and do some checks for us quietly and let us see what will come out? But to just get out and go and chase somebody out of office, I mean, it's against the norm. I mean, it's just not the fair thing for anybody to do. And those guys who are claiming to be MPP people, yeah, I don't think so.
Why?
If you're an MPP person, lawyer person, MPP, and you love the party, this is not what you be doing to mar the atmosphere, the peace that we have in our country. After what type of governance do you expect from the president? Or just attack on the minister as well? We want to strengthen health systems, we want to do quality care, we want to make sure that people who will vote for us to come back to power are getting good quality care. But if you cause this mayhem, and doctors are not going, to work, and patients are suffering, and then we come and follow the president on campaign to solicit for votes, who will give you that vote? So there should be peace in Tamale for health workers to work, so that we can deliver the promises that the president has made to the good people of this country. And I'm surprised they call themselves MPP people. I'll get to Tamale and I'll try to get to the chairman of the party, and we'll see how we can do that politics outside the normal stream of work that we are doing.
Let's talk about the reason why you came to the Central Region, commissioning hospitals. So were these polyclinics part of those facilities abandoned, or these are new ones you started from the scratch?
Fortunately, the tall list of polyclinics that have been abandoned, these ones are not part of them. And nobody mentioned that there's work going on some other facilities as well. So when I was seeing some of these bashing on the minister for having left things undone, I was amazed. But this is a justification that the president is delivering on his promises, right? Any project that has been left uncompleted, right, that needs to be done will be done. And that is exactly what we are doing. I visited here sometime last year and saw the progress of work. And I've been looking at site meeting minutes, because I will not be able to attend all site meetings for the numerous projects that we have in the system across the country. So I take minutes and look at them. And these things even got completed some time back, but for some good reason, we haven't been able to move in here. Now, even now, look at me. I have to leave about 3 to go and come back to commission them. And that is how we showcase the type of work that the president is doing. This was started by the former government, the NDC people. The one who came in, some of them were 30%, 40% percentage work in progress. But we pushed, and my visit, this is the second time to come and commission it. We are now training. We have pooled some of the professionals in Central Region to put themselves into these new facilities, and they have to be given some orientation on the equipment and things that we have in these facilities. And within the next week or 2, they will start taking patients into these hospitals.
Of such facilities in Central Region alone.
Yes.
What about the other regions? There's a number of abandoned ones there. We can talk about the Ofankor and other places. What is going to happen to those projects, and how are the people also going to have the opportunity to benefit from these?
All of these projects are in progress. A number of them. Even in Accra, we have 6 polyclinics that are seeing works on them now. We have a district that should have been put in Adenta, which is being done around Dome Atomic area. We have these Euroject projects, quite a number of them. Some have been completed. We are yet to go and certify completion so that we can also commission. In Burahafo, in Northern Region, there are a number of them. We are even going to commission about 6 polyclinics, new ones, to be done. Cut short to get it done.
Do you have the money for that?
In Western Region.
Do you have the money for that?
Yes.
So
there is money for that. No, those ones who move just like these ones, we have moved these ones. In Western Region, early part of September. And I think some of these things will come. Even next year, we will do a little bit more. You know, the president promised the people that he want to distribute equitably, quality care across the country. We have pledged ourselves together with the global world that Ghana want to achieve universal health coverage. And in that respect, we need to take facilities closer to the people. You need to take health workers closer to the people. We are doing prevention mechanisms. We are doing public education and a lot of things that is happening in health. And we wouldn't want to relent. It is correct that we don't have so much resources, but the little that we have, we are using them optimally to achieve the highest returns that we can achieve. Our president is the type of person who is resource-oriented, looking for development. And like he said and told everybody, he wouldn't want to relent on any promise that he made to the people of Ghana. So me as a minister, my function, my duty is to facilitate achieving what the president has
for example,
promised.
The one we have at Ofanko, the one we have, I'm told there's one at Tema, and one, I've forgotten the name. When would you go there and commission those projects too?
Let me be very honest with you. I think I said it on your media, Joy, that these projects when I took over, until Nana Bidieto, Secretary's president, sent me images of this hospital. It has never come to my notice in the hospital. Quickly, my search around there was the fact that these were not commissioned or done by the ministry, and it were part of road construction packages, even with African Development Bank money, especially the one at Ofanko. There are several of them across, some of them in the northern region, even one in Upper East also. So it's like there was a disconnect between the Ministry of Roads and Health, as well as Ghana Health Service. So when this thing came into my notice, quickly I said, let us do some budget to see how we can quickly operationalize these facilities. The cost that we have put on it is not found in our budget this year. And as I sit here, mid-year we have even overrun our compensation budget. And the finance minister is up in arms with me. I was with him before we traveled yesterday. So we have sent all that we need to get these things operationalized for resource allocation. And my colleague, finance minister, is going through hell now with a lot of challenges with finances. But I want to assure the people of this country that we're going to go through a budgeting process this year. And I want to believe that by May next year, 2019, God willing, these facilities will have been operationalized. We are adopting some new strategies to try to even ease congestion in the big facilities we have in Accra. But Ofanko, we are thinking of utilizing it for some different new thing. We'll announce it later on when we have firmed on our strategic decision, as well as the old hospital in Dodua. When they finished the new one, they moved, and that facility is still sitting there. We want to use these as satellite hospitals attached to Kolebu, for example, so that we can offload, patients that have been identified to be staying very long in the hospitals into those areas. Doctors will go and see them, but that will create some more space for us to look at short-term patients in the facilities as we have.
Will it be fair to ask about the Konfenocha Abandoned project too? The president was in Kumasi last week and told the Otunfo that he was going to do it. The last time we had interaction, he told me that a number of companies or contractors had come forward.
That has been one of the priorities for the ministry. Since I joined, we have always been talking about Konfenochi. We have done cost estimates, millions of dollars to put in to complete it. I've been to Konfenochi in about 3 different locations. You go and stand there and look at it, and then you said, oh, this country, why did we leave this thing hanging for that long? And not only me, the health minister, the president himself is committed to get some resources for us to complete that facility. So he now joining with Otumfo, I believe next year we will see some good action on that facility.
Is there a promise?
I wouldn't promise. The president has promised, and I want to go with him.
Okay. So thanks for your time. So Mama V. Kojo Roland, you heard me interact with the health minister. He's been here since yesterday, and as you heard him say, he's going to cut short his trip here and rush to Tamale to see what is happening there and engage the staff and the party people about how they can resolve whatever is happening there. So this is me live from Cape Coast. That is if you don't have any more questions to ask me, Kojo, Mama V and Roland.
Seth, I was just going to ask, so what's going to happen today?
Okay, so let's quickly talk about what is happening today. So where are we heading? Where are we going today? I'm told around the Jumako. And how many of these facilities are going
We
to
are
be
trying to do
commissioned?
four today. Lined up 10 of them. We did 3 yesterday. We're doing 4 today. And then because I'm cutting short, we will leave the other 3 and come back next week or 2 to come and complete that. Echi, Bisianse, 2 other more I've forgotten. I can't remember. These names are a bit challenging.
Yesterday I realized that you were so particular about how these facilities must work hard to reduce maternal mortality and neonatal mortality. Exactly how are these going to help?
They're going to help so much. See, when you put facilities closer to the people, right, it makes the attendance easier for them without transportation, right? Some of these ladies or women in the small communities, in some instances, even finances, money to go, transportation to the facilities become challenging. But when you put a facility such as we are commissioning closer to them, it makes it easier. Then we put in health workers who be doing home visits, who be, going around the communities and talking to people so that they can be tracking people who should come and wouldn't stay somewhere without anybody identifying them to talk to them to move in. Then you bring in professionals. It stops people traveling very far away when there are case burdens, like emergencies, when the woman is in labor and there's no ambulance and we don't have the easily accessible roads and transportation. Traveling to bigger facilities over longer distances, that alone can even kill a mother. And these are the type of things that we are doing. We'll try to resolve to improve on our outcomes, to enable us achieve what we have signed on to achieve, bringing down the statistics on maternal and neonatal and infant mortality to let's just say that we're actually improving our health status.
So Mamavi, he has answered your question. We are heading towards Mankesime area today, Bisianse and the surrounding areas where there are some of these facilities you'll be commissioning today. So you can take it over, Mamavi, Roland, and
not so quick, Sep Kwame Boateng. You know, people are
Thank
listening.
you so much.
Okay. People are listening and watching. There was one last question, but we probably may have to let it pass. Somebody's asking, he wants us to ask the minister about the unposted nurses situation. Says he promised us clearance by mid-July, but we haven't been clear till now. All they do is reassuring us that it will come. So if you heard me said Kwame Boateng, you might just want to real quick ask him for me.
Asking when you're going to post the unposted nurses, because you had assured them over and again, and it has not happened, and you keep assuring them. What is happening?
I cannot stop assuring them because this is close to my heart. The president wants all these young men and women to work. We need them in some of the facilities, like the commissioning that we are doing now. You see, we are pooling health staff from other facilities. They are working in there, but because we haven't got what we call the financial clearance, the finance minister is supposed to do that. The finance minister is supposed to give us that. That is an assurance that if you put them in your facilities, we will have money to pay them. Right? We did some good budgeting last year, but there are challenges, not only in health. So I believe that they gave us close to October or September. So we are still awaiting financial clearance. Immediately that we get this financial clearance, we'll start working on it. As far back as March, we started soliciting and asked them to, those who have stayed home for long, we were thinking some of them might have left or have got some jobs. So we wanted to do a quick check on how many were still sitting without jobs. So we started that as far back as March. If you wouldn't, or we haven't any intention to actually recruit and post them, why would we have done that exercise? So we've got statistics and data on them sitting down, and as soon as financial clearance becomes a reality, we will go ahead.
I have been thinking about this for some time now. We are training more of them. We've not budgeted for them. This year, some will come out. Next year, many others will come out. What plans can we put in place so that we would know for certain that as soon as they are out of school, they will be posted and their salaries will come?
Is it Kwame, right? And Mama V. You see, we came to meet an existing challenge. Like you said, year on year, we bring in more people. Unfortunately, we came to meet a backlog. And so we are budgeting for current situation and a backlog. And that is what is making the challenge a bit difficult. The backlog wasn't just a matter of 10 or 20. So you can't just use 1 year to complete clearing and then putting in what had been added, like what we did last year. 2017 alone, we posted close to a little over 17,000 of these young men and women. And this year, we budgeted to do close to about 15,000 of them as well. So it's a gradual process that will enable us clear the backlog, and then we come on stream. But there are certain questions I ask myself. You know, when we're touring Brahafu, You didn't join us at the time. At one stage, I asked that what did we get wrong? Is it the case that we are seeing an unplanned, something that we didn't think about, population explosion within a very short time? Or is it the case that our planning thing didn't go well at all? So what was our strategy? These are things that we are trying to explore, because it looks like the health infrastructure in the system is seriously overwhelmed, right? Wherever you go, we are creating neonatal intensive care units that should have at least some heating equipment. Yes, being incorporated. But across the country, anywhere that you visit a neonatal intensive care unit, no space, no incubators, right? Meanwhile, birth rates are high. So in some facilities, they are recording 1,000 births in a month.
Because we have free maternal
things
care.
like that.
Then yesterday you were telling the people that all the pregnant women should be coming to the hospital.
But that is correct.
It's an encouragement, right?
You need to enhance your outcomes. Other than that, what is the investment going to be for? You put down facilities to ensure that things that you have signed on to do, right, you will achieve them. So you don't want to reduce and bring down to meet international standards the rate at which mothers die when they are going to deliver, the rate at which children don't get to 5 before they die. These are things that every government should be concerned about, every president will be concerned about, every minister for health will be concerned about. So you definitely continue to invest and make sure that you get better outcomes in health. We get support a little bit for health strengthening. But I think the problem that had been accumulated that we made cannot be solved within a year and a half. So gradually, I believe,
by the close, he has the men.
You know, by the close, yes, the president has the men, and we are dealing with the problems. That is a challenge, but we are living to expectation, I believe. And by the time the president finishes his first term, we'll have done a yeoman's job.
Thank you. Mama, have you any more questions for the minister?
No, we will let him go and have some breakfast and continue the tour. So, Seth Kwame Boateng, live from Cape Coast with the Health Minister, Kweku Agyeman-Menu. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. And more of the updates, Seth Kwame Boateng, later on in the day. So that's our health conversation with the Health Minister, touching on quite a number of things, including that question of unposted nurses.